welcome to Master Your Life with Kate McKay, a show exclusively dedicated to uncovering path to excellence through powerful stories of grit and determination. I'm Kate, and so glad you have joined us.
So I'm really excited to bring an incredible force of nature. Kortney Murray, welcome to the show.
Kate, thank you so much for having me. This is an exciting day for us to finally get to chat live.
Really incredible. So we had a little chit chat before we hit the record button, but Kortney, I really want, you have a picture behind you. So if this is just an auditory listening, you can see a picture. We were actually on a show together. We appeared on NASDAQ together, and that connection that we had there really is symbolic of the priority you've made in the building of community as a pathway to success. And you have an incredibly successful business and have charged through and done this as a trendsetter in a particular field. So if you don't mind just talking a little bit about your business and what that looks like today.
Absolutely, Kate. Thank you for asking. It has been quite a journey. I will start with that. It has not always been a successful entity. I have been kind of a serial entrepreneur, if you will. And so I did start a couple businesses prior to my business now, which is Coastal Kapital. We're a equipment finance company and asset-based lender for businesses to help grow their entrepreneurships or their expansions, basically their dreams. And so we help with everything from working capital to assisting with the equipment that they need to get their business off, and running. So we do a little bit of everything. I actually started in my business with prior failed entrepreneurship, I like to call it. It was not from lack of heart. It was from lack of funding and not understanding the right arm of financing. So when I came on board to this type of lending, I took a position at a different company and I fell in love with it because I realized the missing link from what I had experienced as an entrepreneur. And so
what was that? What was that missing link?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there was a few missing links, but the main missing link was the right course of finance, the right course of funds, finding the right arm of, backing and the education about why. And so that's something that really streamlined me into becoming passionate about it.
I often ask, excuse me for interrupting, but the whole idea, because I love that you said number one was backing and number two was education and really getting to the why. That's such an interesting bridge, right? Because I think people don't understand that really the why is figuring out what is the reason that you want to do this business and why is it important to you? And that so many people start businesses with lack of clarity. And that's actually one of the high performance habits. I talk about clarity all the time, but I love that you bridge those two words together. Really powerful.
It's a really important concept of education. And that's with any industry. We work with business owners daily and we want to know why. There's difference between buying a franchise, which there are successful franchises, obviously, people want to do that because they're thinking it's a cash cow, but really the why. Are you involved in the business? Is there sweat equity? Is there passion? We want to know why. And so, I could talk about business all day long, but I think you and I really want to get to the nitty gritty of what partnerships and things, do to help create a mold for any type of business owner.
Absolutely. For anybody and anywhere, right? It's
Absolutely.
That combination of certainly what I talked about in NASDAQ is we're only as good, our personal and our professional development and our success is only as good as one leading into the other. And I know you have really have a mastery in this space. Can you just talk a little bit about what your belief is in regards to the bridge between athleticism and business success?
Absolutely. And I want to start out by telling you that my true belief is that life is a circle. And if you don't break the circle with something outside of that, circle, when there's an opportunity, then the circle continues to go around and keep teaching you the same lesson, just a little bit harder, and that's the same with, an athlete. And I was a gymnast, I was a cheerleader, I was, a national cheerleader. I taught cheerleading in college. I played softball. So team was really big for me growing up. No matter what it was, I was always a part of a team. And it teaches you to shoot for things that are better than what you believe. It's something that allows you to goal set. It helps you with ambition. And it also helps you with showing up for yourself, showing up for other people. And that's the most important part of any type of business, because there's not one day that, you might wake up and think, oh, I just want to sleep an extra 10 minutes. But what does that extra 10 minutes give you if you actually jump out of bed? And I remember reading a book talking about the 5-second rule. It was
Mel Robbins.
Mel Robbins. I was like, I forgot who wrote that book. It was actually Chase, which partners with us for some of their business. They invited me to this woman in business luncheon, and we were just thinking that 5-second rule is so important. But where do you learn that? You learn that in sports. You learn that in team. And so without that, I don't think you can create the culture of mindset, because there's a difference between team and there's a difference between parenting. Parenting is one thing. You hear your parents always in the back of your head, but team is what pushed you, what really pushed you and molded you for that, effort in moving yourself forward. So I just believe that
how
that
was
was
it
really
for you? Like, because you have a pretty high success mindset, how did it mold you as a leader?
It molded me. Well, honestly, I'm an Aries, and being on top of my game, always being the shining light, was very important to me, because deep down inside, we all have our own struggles. And so I have my struggles. I have my struggles with girls in high school, or, maybe I wasn't great at, I'll tell you one thing, I was not great at piano. And like, there are things that, siblings and things, you have sibling rivalry when it comes to, being on top, mostly as an Aries. And so creating a business and understanding that you have some sort of leadership and mentorship to other people, that's where it really helped me become more successful, because I know other people are watching. It helped me with better habits. It helped me with better wanting to learn more and becoming an expert in my industry. So when I'm giving people advice and mentoring younger people, or even people surrounding me, such as my family, even my mother after my father passed, that's a big deal when you're, trying to be the best you can be, and, being that team leader.
What is
that really molded me?
What is that calling to you? I'm just wondering, because you mentioned your dad earlier, and that was really a pivotal time in your life for you. And what did he teach you?
Oh, integrity and honesty. And my father was the best. He was an attorney. So you always, you don't lie to your doctor or your attorney. You always have to be straight in line. But my father was also Lebanese, a very big Lebanese family. His parents were immigrants. And when he came to, when he was raised, it was, here's a dirt road. Let's see if you can pave it. His grandparents raised him. His grandmother spoke no English. He was raised with multiple children in the house, over 13 of them. And with that said, there's not a lot of discipline in there. So it's like, you have to figure out a way to pave that road. And so he taught us at a young age, even though we didn't need for much, he provided for us. He taught us to work hard. So my first job in high school was McDonald's. We worked and we worked through college and we worked, because we wanted to mold ourselves into something better. He created work ethic, integrity, and authenticity in both my brother and I that have shined through to our careers and down on, the people that we mentor. So big
Huge
spot in my life with my
Right.
father.
So I had this coach that actually said to me after my son Will passed away, it's devastating, the loss, right? How we learn and grow through suffering. And what she said to me was that, Kate, when Will passed, like all those physical, the way he was in this world, those qualities that you loved and admired so much, he doesn't need those in the other realm. So, if you want, you can just pick them up. And I was like, was so a significant expression for me that I wear the qualities that Will had in this world, like a holy shroud, I call it, because it's my honor to represent those qualities. I never was as chill as I am right now. I never was as gentle. I know I'm big energy, but there is this gentle quality that I bring every single day into me that was his. And so I love that you bring up these, that your father taught you integrity, honesty, and authenticity. And do you feel that you were able to, in some ways, honor him by representing?
Every day I do. And that just gave me chills when you talked about, picking up those qualities, because I picked up so many qualities of my father. I also had to unlearn a few.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a big thing. That's a stepping point in molding my career to a bigger success path. Because there were things that my father taught me that have created levels of success, but also things that he took on that created levels of stress as to why he probably is no longer here.
Wow.
There is balance in life
Right.
that we have to learn. And again, back to the circle,
Right.
Are we going to learn it? Or are we going to keep getting these? signs?
Rewind and replay. So Kortney, beautiful sense of sharing there. And what I want to know then is, as we grow, do you have any, any tips for our listeners about how we can discern and know what needs to go and what needs to stay as we up level? Because even though, yes, we are on a circular path, we are, as I believe, on an evolution, a spiritual evolution upwards. So there are, I often say when people are going through transformation, there are going to be people that need to go, maybe for a little while, maybe for a longer while. And what is that process like for you?
For me, it's very straightforward now. It wasn't always, but if it does not serve me, I say no. And that's a big, has been a big space carrier in my life, because when you do say no, it opens up possibility for things that are more positive in your life and people who actually fit where, someone may not have, fit in the life. So for anyone listening, I would say really find something that grounds you with our, Mother Nature. And I think that when you're in a space that you can actually think free of all of the, bells and whistles and cell phone and iPad and things like that, even though we're so connected to technology, we need more than anything to be so connected to Earth, because it is what gives us space to grow. And so trust the process, take a vacation, take a couple days off, be with your loved ones, be with your family, and connect. One thing, even though we're so connected, we're so disconnected. And in this life, it goes so quickly when we're so, absolutely connected, that we forget to take time for ourselves. And that would probably be my biggest takeaway from this chat. I did it within yoga. And it was something that I wanted for myself. And I found that the workout side of yoga, the vinyasa flow, the hard yoga that I thought I was going to get trained for was not what I fell in love with. It was the restorative, where you're laying on a bolster for 15 minutes, every movement, and you're using essential oil. And that's because my body needed calm, something we don't even know we need until we take the time to practice. So meditation.
Have you picked up your copy of my best-selling book, Claim Your Inner Badass? Available on Amazon now. Go grab your copy.
Whatever form that is for you, whether it's working out or whatnot, or just taking a minute to even walk around the block during the day. Everybody's looks a little different, but that's what I would really say to anybody watching, how important that is for growth.
I love that. I think that it's kind of saying athletic yoga is the most bizarre 2 words to put together I've ever heard in my life. It's like I lift weights and then I go to yoga to restore myself. It's like, I don't understand the other part of it. And it always seemed incongruous to me, because that pushing and everyone's comparing themselves, and it's like hot and sweaty and music, or it's like, that's intense. I'm here to chill out. I need to chill the F out, people. I never understood it. Like, it was bizarre, because it's like really literally a sacred practice. It's like we've Americanized it into a sport. It's bizarre. Even spirituality has become a sport that we need to compete in. It's bizarre, Kortney. I love it that you brought that up.
Yeah, it really is. And what you find out is, it really is a mental practice. And so when you take all of the taglines away from it, it becomes something that actually serves you. And that's what I think growing up you're young, and then you're a young woman, and then you grow into this adult, and you have to figure out, like you asked, what serves you. Well, how do you figure out how to say no and what does not serve you? Well, it's the labels. It's the, all of those things that are labeling you to think you are someone that you're not. I think that taking away the labels and getting to the core of who you are authentically is going to help you relate to anyone authentically and create partnerships to grow your life, into a successful pattern.
It really true. And that comes up to this conversation that you and I, obviously, we work together both with Rhonda, who's behind you, and we are hanging out with, and we did the NASDAQ show with her, and you're also in partnership with her in some wonderful stuff with women and entrepreneurs, and seeding women entrepreneurs to be complete badasses. I love the work you're doing, and I feel so blessed to be in our community together. Rhonda gave a great analogy, and I'm curious about whether you would relate to this, is that she said, like, in high school, it was like, or, just growing up, it was like the girls were here talking about each other and all the boys were out here having fun. And she's like, I'm out, like she wanted to go have fun. She wanted to be in action, but you get ostracized when you don't fit in with the girls like that. So I love it how you talked about, I'm an Aries rising, so I have a lot of Aries, but so I never felt like I fit in anywhere, Kortney, because I was always so different. I was different from my family of origin. I went to private high school, all girl high school, and I was different there. I went to a all Jewish, super wealthy college. I was different there. So my whole life, I've been dropped into situations and sort of looked around and was like, where am I? And how am I going to survive here? Right? How am I going to bring the light? But building a community is a new thing for me, because there were so many years that I was so different and I didn't trust, Kortney.
Yes.
Didn't trust. Right. And this is new for Rhonda too, this newer, powerful movement. And so what do you think has shifted that you and I and Rhonda and the group of us that have surrounded each other have found each other in a way? And what is it now calling women to do in a really powerful and beautiful way?
It's definitely shifted, I think, within all of us individually, but also together, realizing that instead of fighting against each other from the non-trust and things like that, which again, that goes back to growth. When we start trusting and we start pushing each other forward with the true, authentic behavior of assisting each other in growth, then this beautiful collaboration continues to happen, because we actually create space to want each other to grow, to continue utilizing each other's skills. It's like working with your own brain, but then you have all of these beautiful women who have these powerful brains that you're working together, and you're creating ideas and you're helping uplift each other. And it's a very different path, I think, for all of us. I mean, even though I didn't grow up exactly like you did, I had issues with girls when I grew up. I had issues fitting in. I was always someone who had multiple different groups of friends, never one, certain type of group. I liked everyone. I was, that's how I grew up. But I also had a lot of pain and hurt and things like that, as we do growing up as trying to fit in. And I just think that this movement, when you give, it's such a bigger gift than take. And that's something that I think, as a business owner and trying to support your family and knowing, like, is this going to make me money? Is this going to make me money? When you give that up and you actually start to educate and help and assist other people, it comes back full force, because the greed comes out of your, of every part of your being.
Yeah, it leaves
And
the
I think
building.
that,
Yeah, it leaves.
yeah,
the
and in this day in life, I mean, there's so many people who want this now. It's instant gratification. So giving up instant gratification to actually give back, it comes back full force, but it's just not always an overnight process. So you have to trust.
I think also too, something that I've noticed, and I've interviewed a bunch of the WOW women on this podcast, and they just blow me away. But when they're talking, I'm like, oh my God, they're just like me, and they're just like me because they're super loving and open and courageous. Like,
Yeah.
I'm super open, and always, it has not worked in my favor always, Kortney, right? I'm like, people, because I think people misconstrued me, that like, I'm so enthusiastic, I must be dumb, or I work out and I can't be smart, or I built a company and who do I think I am now? And so much of my life has been in the judgment in the mirror of other people, even though I'm like, but why can't we do this together? And I really didn't have that experience of feeling that I could do it together. But what do you think has shifted energetically, potentially, or in our culture? Because I think women supporting women has a different vibe. It has, for me, a different vibe.
It does. That shift, I mean, honestly, and I can actually only translate it to my own life right now, because and I'm just being completely authentic with you when it comes to that, because the shift for me has really come just from everything that's so negative, that's outpouring, everything that's happened, and I personally have turned off the news. And I know that that's a crazy thing, but it's been about 2 years that I stopped focusing on negative. And I think that that's what people are doing. I think that there's been so much negative. Remember when we were kids, there wasn't social media. There wasn't the type of, social activity that we had polluting our brains and minds with all of these taglines and things that are coming across that you have to read every day. It's almost like forcible. And so when you cut that out of your life and start, again, grounding yourself back to nature, doing things that make you happy, I think that has created a huge shift in our whole culture, because people are sick of seeing it, sick of reading it, sick of the negativity. And as a community and as a country, obviously other countries, when we met all of these other beautiful women who have come, abroad, mostly for this book that I was just a part of, you realize it's a shift throughout all of the countries, and everyone is having, this rise in just mood and change. So
just
I don't know.
Consciousness in a way, right?
Consciousness.
It's sort of like consciousness. Well, I think that historically, because I'm a little older than you, but historically, women supporting women were like, yeah, we should make the same amount of money. And like, so we took on more male characteristics to dominate. And
Right.
we've even taken that, women have even taken that energy into their families to dominate. And why I'm so passionate about helping men and helping women is because we need to shore these warriors up so we can be in the same, we're facing the same direction, embracing the powerfulness of each of us. you know?
Yeah, we need our feminine energy back too, because having
Totally,
that
right
masculine
on.
energy is huge I was just talking to my husband about that the other day. I was like, the masculine energy that it takes to run a business and be a woman entrepreneur and being women supporting women and all of the things all the time. I don't care what it is. It's hard to be a woman who is creating this business, but without that male support and having your feminine energy back and feeling like a woman, then it's very hard to create the path to success. You have to feel like a woman. You have to have that feminine energy back. The masculine energy has shined through for so many years. And I think that is one shift that, you just said it. And it just kind of shined through that the feminine energy is really shining through this year.
In powerful ways. That's not in a negative light. It's almost like it's coming into where you and I were supposed to be. Like that.
Yep.
This is our perfect storm, boo. Kortney, you and I met, and it's like a perfect storm.
I know, it was awesome.
Look out, world. Look out, world.
It's so exciting, Kate.
Yeah,
I just love your energy. I love what you represent.
I'm dying. I'm so excited. So talk to me a little bit about, where the newest arm of your company has been growing from, just honestly from this conversation that we've just had. And then I want to really know where people can find you and who are you here to serve right now?
So my company has gone from we've been in business 11 years. And this year I decided, through all of the crazy COVID times and whatnot, to open a brick and mortar and use a little bit of our internal line to help support women in business, funding women in business. And our direction is to really turn into a direct lender. We have been a broker for so many years, and we've been creating a little bit on our own books to create this path so we can stamp approvals for women that may have not had a yes at a bank, may have not had a yes from an investor. Maybe their business plan wasn't exactly in the appropriate place, but they don't understand our arm of financing. So my goal with the business is to take it a couple routes. Direct lender, we've already started becoming. We also are trying to create education through social media, through brand currency, through companies like Rhonda, through companies like yourself that are assisting and in that growth to get the word out there and educate where the different arms of financing are, how you can get your, not commingle your personal and business credit, how you can grow your business. And so, we're Coastal Kapital with a K, because I'm Kortney with a K. And there is another, company that's named similar to ours, but we are completely different. We're here based in Sarasota, Florida. We're all over online. Obviously, I have Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, things like that. But we do serve nationwide, and we serve anyone from $5,000 up to 30 million, depending on what their needs are, through the partnerships we've created through the last 11 years. So we're in a big growth span here. It's very exciting, but we plan on continuing it, and we don't see, we don't, sky's the limit right now. So
unbelievable. This is so exciting. So any of the viewers or listeners, all of this information will be in the show notes. And Kortney, I would just love to ask you one final question. And that is, when we're thinking about getting greater clarity and really defining that why, what do you want people to know, Kortney? And how to go after that why? What is the question that you would ask them?
I would ask them, why not ask? Why not ask for help? One of the things that people are so afraid of is judgment. And you will never get to a no or a yes if you don't get to a no. And that's law of averages. And the thing is, people are afraid to ask for help, and not just in business, but in general. There are things out there that we've all had to conquer. And sometimes we keep it internally because maybe you're ashamed of it, or you don't think your idea is good enough or whatnot. Ask. look outside the box. There are mentors out there. We put together something that you can call and just get a consultation on. We are not looking to gain a client from it. We're trying to gain, pass along the knowledge. And so for anyone watching, if you're looking to expand your business or grow, or you have an idea, or you want to find, whether it's an investor or this arm of finance, ask the question and let one of us, help assist you. We have a big team here of women that are so successful. If I can't answer it, you might be able to. If you can't, somebody else might be able to. So always just be true to yourself
and be open and ask, right?
Yep.
And I think that's powerful, is that you don't have to know all the answers. And we usually say that that's a quality that's related to men, and that's just hogwash, because there is a whole bunch of women out there that would love to grow, would love to dream, would love to have higher aspirations and to do more. And I think that it's cool to have ideas and to support each other and to tithe, but we need money. We need funding. We need to be able to embrace the fact that this is the way we grow, is to get funding to grow, and funding in emotional, financial, physical, spiritual ways. Let us fund our dreams.
Two things: always be interviewing ABI and OPM, other people's money. Those are the two things that everyone should always remember. Always interview for partnerships, not just jobs, partnerships, relationships, friendships, everything. ABI and OPM, other people's money. Other people's money will help you get to the next level. Don't always undercapitalize yourself.
Wow, so good. Well, Kortney Murray, thank you so much. This has been an incredible time. I'm deeply grateful for the work that you're doing, and I'm deeply honored to be on this journey with you.
I just love it. I love seeing you, even though it's not in person. We'll do that soon, but this was great. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. And thank you to all the viewers and listeners of Master Your Life. I'm Kate McKay. Until next time, don't be afraid to ask. You are not alone, and there are people here to support you, like Kortney and myself, on your path to mastery.
Are you ready to claim your inner badass? Pick up my copy of my best-selling book, Claim Your Inner Badass: How to Live with Courage and Unleash Your Personal Power. Available now on Amazon.